meeting to order with a roll call vote. Bill Preston.
Here.
Danny Golden.
Here.
Jeanette Stewart here. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairman, may I undo the door because it's public?
Sure, I didn't know it was shut. Okay, approval of minutes, March 19th.
So moved.
I have on line 31, personnel should be PERSONNEL, two N's. And line 46, where it talks about the Food for All program, about thanking them, it should also say, and a letter will be sent to Linda Folsom. The 26th we just got, so that's going to be tabled, but March 19th is the one we had before that.
I looked at it.
Okay.
It's in the folder, and I'm just going to make a motion to accept it
With
as
corrections.
corrected. With corrections.
Okay, Danny made the motion to accept the March 19th minutes with corrections. I'll second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Old business? I have a couple things. One is for Ingrid. Ingrid, you had asked the question about the seatbelts. In the personnel policy, it had said that if you are making frequent stops, you do not have to wear seatbelts. So that was the reason that the Public Works people did not have their seatbelts on. Now what has happened, the Labor Board says that everyone must wear a seatbelt that drives a town vehicle. Not only if they drive a town vehicle, but say someone is in their vehicle and they go directly like to a fire or an accident, then they must be wearing a seatbelt because at that time they are working for the town. Okay?
That wasn't all of my question, but I'll get back to it in public concerns and comments unless you want to deal with it now.
I'll deal with it now.
I asked what the implications were from the insurance company if someone had an accident without wearing a seatbelt,
They still would be covered.
even without wearing a seatbelt.
Yep.
I'm surprised. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then I would like to answer Sandra's question about the Public Works, the new person at the Public Works, George Chase driving the truck by himself. He has never driven the largest one by himself. Someone has always been with him. The reason he can drive it with someone with him, it's like driver's ed. As long as they have a CDL, he can drive the truck. It's like training. He has passed the written exam, and now he has to take the driver's test. What else did we have here? Dr. Lester had sent us a note saying that he has to come in front of the planning board again for a new site review. But he had asked that we waive the fee, I believe it's $90, because he had to pay it the first time he came. So he would like us to waive the fee. How does the board feel about that?
Well, what if somebody goes before the planning board, pays their fees, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, we change something and they have to go before the planning board? Does the planning board exempt them, or do they pay?
when they have a new application put in and has to go in the paper, they have to pay. And this is what we've been talking about, is we've got to pay for it to go in the newspaper, and that's quite expensive.
When was the original site plan review?
1993.
A long time ago.
Mhm. I would think that he would have to pay it. I mean, I don't see that we have done it for anybody else, so I would think that he would have to pay the $90.
Yeah, I don't, of course, I don't know what the original site plan review said. It obviously didn't include what he's doing now.
Right, it didn't include the banner.
That's a long time ago. My own feelings.
Then I guess it's a consensus of the board that he pay the $90. Is that correct?
That's my opinion.
The other thing I had under old business is a lot of people were talking about it, and we were talking about it at the last meeting about the dumpster at the beach. They did come last Friday, and they did empty the dumpster. So that has been taken away. The town Public Works Department is going to repair the fence. There's a fence around the dumpster because it's an ordinance that there has to be a fence around it, and it's pretty rickety, so they are going to repair it. So, Paul, do you have anything else on the old business?
I don't know, Chairman.
I referenced the beach dumpster. Has it been cleaned up around the dumpster?
Yes,
Because
Public Works is doing that.
yeah,
Yep.
I went over there. Well, I was talking to a person about that, and said it's full and it's disgraceful. Went over there, and
And
we
we were
didn't
sent
exaggerate at all. It was disgraceful.
We were sent a picture and gave it to Bob Hicks to look at, and but we spoke with Tim Paquette.
I believe it was Friday that they picked it up. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Now, are they in the process? They're going to eventually fix it up, and are they going to lock it and then distribute?
We've got keys. We're going to lock it. I think we've got Tim. Excuse me. Have we got 30 keys? Or
Yes, Pat has the 30 keys.
30 keys.
Right. They did not come and get it Friday, the trash. They were supposed to come today.
Oh, it's today.
Oh, they were supposed to go Friday.
They showed up a day early, and we still have the parking lot blocked off. So because they couldn't get in there, they couldn't come until today.
Oh, okay, but I knew it had been cleaned. So.
I couldn't lock it today. I'll check it tomorrow morning. It'll be locked back up
Okay.
after it's empty, and the campers will be given the keys.
Okay, I just wanted
As
to make sure that
as
they
well Waste
came
Management,
and
they
done it.
have to also, so
Okay.
they were in control of the site.
Anything else under old business? Paul? New business?
Nope.
Town administrators report?
I was directed by the Board of Selectmen to contact Mike Capone, the town administrator in Bristol, regarding Brownfield's questions and grants, and this I'm handling this week. The Board of Selectmen agreed to allow live music on the outdoor patio at the Common Man restaurant between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. This would attract and maintain certain patrons that otherwise might move on. Our noise ordinance says no noise after 9 o'clock, so they are complying with that. Bond Council has sent their approval opinion of our TAN request to the DRA, and we've already received the $300,000 from Northway. That's in our checking account now. Tomorrow morning at the firehouse, the charrette will be unveiled to the town officials, state representatives and the stakeholders prior to the folks from Plan New Hampshire returning to announce the findings to the general public. Tomorrow afternoon, a telephone interview will be held between the folks representing HEAL, the Healthy Eating and Active Living Grant, and the Ashland Community Partners as respects the town's grant application. This is at 1 o'clock in the town office. I've had responses from 3 people so far. The town office will be closed on the 5th in order that Pat Tucker and Pat Kroll can attend a workshop session The town administrator will be available to answer the telephones, but there will be no auto registrations or tax payments handled. On Friday the 6th, department heads are going to be given their current job descriptions and those for the staff in order they can ascertain if their current match the duties being performed at this time. The Board of Selectmen and the Town Administrator are reviewing all job descriptions and implementing performance evaluations this year for all town employees in order that a merit pool can be established and merit increases be given going forward based on performance. The Town Administrator and the Town Clerk are gathering various policies for the Selectmen to review at the next work session. We have to make sure that our investment policies are up to date and meeting all financial standards. The Town Administrator is beginning to implement our Prime program with Primex, which is designed to assist us in improving our risk management capabilities and performance through the implementation of 10 risk management best practices. Upon completion of the 10 steps, we shall be given discounts under our workers' compensation and property and liability programs. The Town Administrator has sent out emails to those individuals who will be participating in Operation Seek Shelter in June, informing them that they are to meet on April the 13th at 5 p.m. at the firehouse to go over some of the details of the upcoming exercise. This includes our EMD, Fire Chief, Police Chief, School Representative, CERT and MRC members. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Department head reports. Chief Randall.
March monthly report to the Ashland Police Department. March has been a little bit busier than last month. I made the comment last month how it was kind of dropping off, but of course it picked up a little bit this month. Police Department had in-house training on administrative duties this month. Basically going over case file preparation, office equipment use, use of office equipment, of course, to help with the lack of the administrative officer in the administrative office at the PD. So basically, the officers now are going to be spending more time doing administrative stuff because we just can't keep up with the administrative stuff. So you're probably not going to see them as often out on the street sometimes because there's going to be a certain amount of their duties that are going to be detailed for administrative work. And we have Howard Beaudry working 2 days a week. Jamie's working off and on. It's hard to know when we can get him and when we can't have him work. So we've implemented that at the PD. So everybody's going to be in tune with the all the administrative duties. The Ashland Police Department, in conjunction with the DEA, put on a training relative to the making of meth and its hazards. This is the second year that we've done this with the DEA. Meth is an up-and-coming drug, and it's very volatile and dangerous. The class was held at the Common Man Inn in Plymouth. The class was well attended by agencies throughout the Lakes region, and I would just like to thank Alex Ray and the Common Man for their donation of the space and lunch that they provided. Lieutenant Marin attended training for interviews, interrogation, and proper evidence room procedures. We're in the process of trying to get the evidence room straightened out. As I go on with this job, I find more and more deficiencies at our police department. The way things should be and the way that things are a little bit different. So we're addressing some of those issues. Department has received the new radar unit for the SUV, and we're in the process of having it installed. We're also in the process of ordering the 5 new portable radios, and I would like to take a moment to just thank the voters for allowing us to keep our equipment up to date, and with that in mind, officer safety issues. Total number of incidents, arrests, warrants, traffic citations, warnings for February was 119, which are 5 more than February. Department continues with follow-up on ongoing investigations and miscellaneous phone calls, complaints, all that good stuff. Police Department has taken reports on an individual getting into mailboxes along Highland Street and Owl Brook Road area. The department is investigating all our leads and may have a potential suspect. Should the public witness suspicious persons messing with or getting into a mailbox, please notify the police department. We had an issue of this around Christmas time. There were some envelopes returned to the PD where somebody had gotten into some mailboxes along Highland Street and Owl Brook Road. And my guess is they were shopping for Christmas cards, whatever had money in it. Well, it seems that this individual has decided to get into some mailboxes, and one of our local citizens saw that and reported it to the police. So the other day, Thursday, Sergeant Hamilton's at School Crossing. He gets a call because the guy's going up the street and somebody sees him getting into the mailbox again. So Sergeant Hamilton gets in the cruiser, turns on the record button for the camera so that as he drives up the street, he's recording everything onto the CD. He gets up to where the last mailbox is from where the person was seen, and Sergeant Hamilton knows that the next mailbox is up the road a little way. So he speeds up a little bit. Lo and behold, here's the guy kneeling on the ground by the mailbox. Didn't actually see him getting into the mailbox, but he is our prime suspect, and hopefully we will end up making an arrest on that. I would like to thank Glenn Dion for his service to the town of Ashland as a selectman. He filled in an interim position. I think he did a great job for the town. I think Glenn had the town on his mind when he was making decisions, and I would just like to take a moment to thank him for that because I appreciated working with him. I'd like to congratulate all of the candidates who won their prospective positions. Also like to thank all the candidates that were not successful in winning a position for stepping up to the plate and showing their interest in the town of Ashland. I appreciate people getting involved and becoming a part of the town of Ashland. Just because you didn't win doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. The department will be participating in the DEA's National Drug Take-Back schedule for Saturday, April 28, 2012, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Ashland Police Department located at 20 Highland Street. So we will be participating again in that this year. Police Department has set up Ashland Police Association in an effort to procure essential equipment, support current or former law enforcement, military, and members of the Ashland community and their families during personal and professional tragedy. The association will also coordinate with other organizations which have similar objectives. I'd like to just take a moment to thank Jamie Lyford for all the work that he did in bringing all that together. It was quite a task to make the association happen. There's just a lot of avenues you have to go through. We want nonprofit status. There's a payment for nonprofit status, but we don't have the money to pay for that right at the moment. So with that being said, donations to the Ashland Association, Police Association are welcome and are tax deductible. So we'll see how well all that works out. I know the fire department does a wonderful job with their association, and hopefully, the police association will be as successful as that. As always, I remind people to lock their vehicles in order to limit thefts, as most car break-in crimes are crimes of opportunity, and I encourage the public to notify the police department of any suspicious activity as soon as you see it. And I want to emphasize, as soon as you see it. 9 times out of 10, the report comes in at the end of the day when they see it happen in the morning, or the very next day, or 2 days later, 3 days later. I would just like it to be as soon as you can so that we can have the best possible chance of catching people doing what they shouldn't be doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Chief Keith couldn't be here because he was called away at fire visit, was it? So would you like to read his report?
Sure. In March, the Ashland Fire Department responded to 40 emergency calls. 19 of these were medical emergencies. Fire activity included 3 vehicle fires, 4 structure fires, 2 outside fires, 3 cover assignments, 1 oil spill, 1 alarm activation, and 4 calls for smoke investigations. The department also responded to 3 motor vehicle accidents during the month. Regular department training for March was well attended. On Tuesday the 6th, personnel was scheduled to conduct hose line advancement training. However, this was postponed until the following week due to Ashland units being involved in a second alarm structure fire in Holderness. EMS training involved a presentation on emergency management of bariatric patients. 3 department members completed a 16-hour radiological monitoring course, and on March the 19th, 4 officers attended a seminar on fireground leadership, strategy and tactics. April's regular department training will include live fire forestry training, as well as engine and ladder company operations. EMS personnel will attend a training session on pediatric overdose on the 17th. We are still awaiting word from the structural engineer regarding the best course of action for the fire station roof. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Public Works Director, Tim Duncan.
Luckily, March was a slow month for snow. We only had 2 events, in which one we only had to we just pick up Main Street once. We continue to patch the roads, as many of them you know that they need it. Roadside brush. I mean, this is going to sound like a broken record, but with our department, it's all routine. There's a lot of things we do, the same every month. We set up for the election, took it down the following day. We took down our load limit signs last week. It's a month earlier than last year. I think with the warm weather, things just dried out really quick for us. We did have an issue with Albrook Road. We put gravel and stone on Albrook Road, the dirt section, about 2 weeks, which is average for a mud season for us out there. That was the worst road in town as far as the mud goes. We took down our frost eve signs because, warm weather. Last week with the heavy winds we had a large tree come down on Blue Sky Drive, large pine, and we got that down with no problem. As many of you saw, we started sweeping our streets and sidewalks. We're still working on that. A lot of sand out there, so we're going to continue to do that. Our grader is down. People that live on Albrook Road, be patient. I've worked it out with the Holdness road agent. He's going to come over this week, hopefully, and grade Albrook Road for us. In turn, I took our sidewalk sweeper over there on Friday and did some work for him. We do that a lot. They do work for us. We swap work with them. We have equipment that they don't have. They have equipment that we don't have. So it's a pretty even trade. Transfer station, we shipped out 700 pounds of scrap aluminum in the month of March, brought in about $380. Continue to haul the brush and compost off-site. Every 6 months or so, we do a light bulb pickup. They do it in Plymouth. We take all our light bulbs up there. It's a small fee, but it's well worth it to get rid of all that hazardous material in the light bulbs. So that's pretty much all I have for my report. I just want to touch on the issues that were brought up the last meeting when I wasn't here, and Jeanette brought them up, as far as the seat belts and the CDL driving. Please, if you have a question, you're going to get an answer, hopefully a lot quicker from me if you call me when you see this or you have an issue. You'll get an answer from the board, but they're going to have to come to me, ask me about it, and then they're going to have to come back and report to you. Just call. I'll answer your question. If I don't have the answer right off, I'll find the answer for you. Then if you don't like the answer that you get, hopefully it's the right one, then you can go to the board. But please, I have an answer machine down there. Just call, and I'll try to answer it the best I can.
Thank you, Tim. Jim Gleich, Park and Rec.
The month of March for Park and Rec Department, public programs. We had a kids' night out scheduled for March 23rd. That was during the week of the really nice weather, and we didn't have anybody sign up for the program, so we canceled it. But this also concludes the kids' night out programs for the year, because as the weather gets nicer, fewer and fewer children sign up for the programs. The program will start up again October of 2012. The after-school program, the children, they have been enjoying they enjoyed the unseasonably warm weather with increased outdoor activity. But we also noticed that the ticks came out, mosquitoes were out. Now they're kind of subdued a little bit, but it just is a precursor for the upcoming seasons. So we've been taking precautions and letting the kids and the parents know about making sure they have insect repellent and sunscreen as the weather gets nicer. Also wanted to take the opportunity in regards with the after-school program, the playground. The Public Works Department repaired the retaining wall for the playground area. There was one of the timbers that was rotting away. They did an excellent job replacing it and making sure the playground is nice and safe. There are trash bins now out on the ball field, so hopefully it'll help control some of the trash issues at the ballpark. Summer camp. The summer camp season has started. Registration, it started on April 1st, started Sunday, and actually today a resident dropped off the first registration for the summer camp. This is the earliest that we've received registration forms. And we also premiered an online pre-registration form that they can contact me, somewhat reserving a spot before they turn in their official registration. Although registrations are not complete until the forms are turned in. We've also had a town resident take advantage of that pre-registration online. The campground, Edward and Ed Duggar Campground. The season is slated to open May 1st for the 2012 camping season, and the campground is at full capacity. On April 16th, 17th, and 18th of this month of April, the Grafton County prisoners will be coming back to help clean and prep the campsite and the beach. And that has been coordinated in conjunction with the Public Works Department. Other than that, we are heading into busy time with the Park and Rec Department, getting things ready for summer camp and the other venues. And that brings us to there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim. Health and welfare?
Bob Hicks couldn't be with us this evening, but he gave me the report, which I'll have to read out. 3 events in the last 30 days. One reported no heat from a tenant, where Mr. Hicks phoned the owner of the rental unit, and this has been resolved. There was a report of a trash build-up left outside a residence. That was inspected. The owner was phoned, and that case is still open. As mentioned in the fire chief's report, there was one report of an oil spill. Bob Hicks phoned the New Hampshire office of the EPA. This is still open, and emergency people are still doing the cleanup, and we are waiting on documentation from the EPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And do you have a report from the treasurer, Paul?
We're reconciled through the month of March, and as of the close of play tonight, we have $634,996.68 in the bank. The payouts this week of $76,981.18.
Thank you, Paul. And Sarah from the library?
Hi. The library offered 10 programs in the month of March. We had 53 people attend. We had 820 visits to the library and issued 23 new library cards. 151 people used the computers. We delivered books to homebound residents 5 times in March. We circulated 1,246 items plus 60 borrowed from other libraries and 14 downloadable audio and ebooks. We added 49 adult books and 68 children's books, 4 audios and 11 DVDs. On display this month is a display for the anniversary of the 100th anniversary of the Titanic, with some new books containing new photos. We have book group at the end of the month, meets April 30th. We're reading Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosnay, and that's from 7 to 8 p.m. The library will be closed on April 16th so that staff can attend a meeting at the local government center. We still have tax forms available if you haven't done your taxes yet. And don't forget that the library collects box tops for education to benefit the Ashland Elementary School. The Friends of the Library purchased a subscription to the genealogical database Ancestry Library Edition in memory of Noreen Crawford, and they donated a set of Janet Ivanovich audiobooks on CD. And the trustees would like you to know that the discussion regarding the use of the upstairs and bringing the second floor of the library into compliance with fire codes is ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Under select board items, we do have appointments of committee vacancies. The capital improvement committee, we have 4 right now, waiting to hear back from 2. I'd like the board tonight to vote on appointing these 4. From the planning board is Jennifer Ogden. From the board of selectmen is Jeanette Stewart. From the budget committee is Steve Felton. And town administrator Paul Branscombe. And we're waiting to hear from a couple of people. So I would appreciate it if the board would appoint these people, these 4 tonight.
So moved.
I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. For the Housing Standards Board, I'm assuming you called all these people and they're willing to...
If their name is on the side, they've said yes.
Okay. Housing Standards Board, reappointment to 3-year term, Francis Newton. I make a motion to appoint, I'm going to say Fran Newton, to the Housing Standards Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Zoning Board of Adjustment, reappointment to 2-year term, Robert Boyle. I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Boyle to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for the 2-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Eli Badger had sent a letter to the Board of Selectmen saying that he would be interested in being on the zoning board. And we do have a vacancy for a 3-year term. So I'm going to make a motion to appoint Eli Badger as to the zoning board for the 3-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Memorial Park trustees, 4 members per warrant article. Reappointment for 3-year term, Phil Preston. I'll make a motion to appoint Phil Preston for the 3-year term for Memorial Park trustee. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Conservation Commission, reappointment for 3-year term, Stacy Luke. I'll make a motion to appoint Stacy Luke to the Conservation Commission for a 3-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Planning Board for 1-year term, Robert Boyle. I make a motion to appoint Robert Boyle to the Planning Board for 1-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Reappointment for 2-year term, Jennifer Ogden. I make a motion to appoint Jennifer Ogden to the Planning Board for 2-year term. Is there a second?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Reappointment for 3-year term, Susan McLeod. I make a motion to appoint Susan McLeod to the Planning Board for a 3-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Scribner trustee, reappointment of Elliot Dupie to the 2-year term. I'll make a motion to appoint Elliot Dupie as Scribner trustee for 2-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Reappointment to Joint Loss Management Committee for 3-year term is Patricia Crowell. I make a motion to appoint Patricia Crowell to the Joint Loss Management Committee for 3-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Reappointment to 2-year term, Robert Hicks. I make a motion to appoint Robert Hicks to the Joint Loss Management Committee for a 2-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Appointment to 1-year term, George Chase. I make a motion to appoint George Chase to the Joint Loss Management Committee for 1-year term. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I have been on the Joint Loss Management Committee as selectman. Do you mind if I do it again, or would someone else like to do it?
Be my guest.
Be my guest. We are just-
And would one of you like to appoint me?
I would be
I am-
delighted. I think there's nothing better I'd rather do. And so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Do you want an alternate for that going on?
Would you?
I make a
okay.
motion that we appoint Bill Preston to
An alternate, I'll second that motion.
Everybody.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
You're the
carries.
one.
Sorry.
Any other select board items?
Madam Chairman, can we let the people know what is vacant, and we will also be putting this on the website, and David can make sure David has the list, put it in.
For the zoning board, there are 3 alternate member vacancies. For the Memorial Park trustee, there is a vacancy for a 2-year term. For Conservation Commission, Renee Liebert is on it, and she's going to let us know soon, but there's also a vacancy for a 2-year term. Planning Board, there's a vacancy for an alternate member. The Historic Commission, it's just totally open. Member at large, 1-year term is open. Member of Historical Society, 1-year term, 2-year term, 3-year term. Selectmen, if somebody wants to do the Historic Commission.
That's just the person for that.
You? And I guess that's it. Okay, any other select board items?
We have to do the appointment for the fire warden, Madam Chairman. Steve Heath replacing Brad Over, the deputy fire warden, Aaron Heath, and there's always 2, so that will be Robert Briscoe. If you could all sign and date them with today's date, I'd be very grateful.
I'll make a motion to appoint Steve Heath as fire warden. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Wait a second. Thanks, sir. Deputy Fire Warden is Aaron Heath. I make a motion to appoint Aaron Heath as Deputy Fire Warden. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. How do you pronounce his last name? Bousquet? or-
Briscoe, yeah. Always have to have 2 deputies.
I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Bousquet as Deputy Fire Warden. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Madam Chairman, the appointments that you just voted on will probably not be on your desk to be signed until sometime towards the end of next week.
Okay.
Okay?
She'll do the ones for the CIP too, right?
She'll do all the ones that were voted on tonight. Yep.
Is there anything else?
No, that's good.
Anybody else have any other select board items?
No,
Okay, before public comments and concerns, because some of you weren't here at the last meeting, before I accept public comments and concerns, we are not going to talk about the past. We are going to go on. This board has a lot to do. We're working on getting the fire station roof repaired. We're working with McCormick to find grants so that we can do the energy repairs. We're working on the permit fees, we're working on job descriptions and goals, so there's a lot that we're working on. So I don't mind public comments and concerns, but we are not going to bring up the past. We're going to go on, and we're all going to work together. Are there any public comments or concerns? Jane?
Yes, I just want to thank the library for giving a wonderful report tonight, and I think it shows the importance of that institution. It's good to have it on tape for the public, and I
Sarah
appreciate Sarah coming.
I do too, and she was very happy to come, so. And she will be here at the others, every month. So thank you, Jane. Ann?
Something's been done down to the water and sewer plant, and I hopefully get into the meeting on Thursday. But seeing Bob is here tonight, I wanted to ask, or do you folks know that the gate is locked during the day hours down there, and
It's supposed to.
why?
It's supposed to be locked, correct, Bob?
Bob, she's asking you a question. Why is the gate locked during
I can speak.
daylight hours during the week now?
The gate, we have decided, is always going to be locked, and if you have a key, you can get in. If you can't, and this is going to keep anybody out that isn't supposed to be there. And the people who bring in the trucks and stuff for doing all the, what's the word? Doing all the septics. They like the idea because they can come down and during their time, meaning that they come down there to say 6 o'clock at night, or if they want to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, they can be. It is good for them to do that. They like it, and we have chosen to put up some signs down there to make sure that people do not run around when they're not supposed to. And if they do, then that's one reason why the gates are locked, because they don't want anybody running in there that shouldn't be.
So, Bob, do the haulers have a key? Is that what it is? All the haulers have a key?
All the haulers have keys, yes.
Okay.
And they find it a lot easier to do it this way, and it's good.
Well, my concern is, what happens if something happens to, if there's only one guy down there, say he's Rusty and not his other worker, if something happens, and you can't get a hold of him, someone goes in there and you see him lying there, and what if the fire department is off someplace else?
Well,
I mean, would OSHA, is that something OSHA does, allows?
well, I don't know about what OSHA allows, but I do know that.
Well, aren't we got a government under OSHA, we have to respond to OSHA?
Nope.
OSHA has no say-so on any work habits?
Well, there's not supposed to be anybody running around down there that isn't supposed to be there.
What I'm saying is, what happens if one of the workers happens? What if they have a heart attack and the fire department is off helping someone else? How are they getting in to help them?
Well, there's a number of keys out to different people.
Paul, did you
The
have something
electric
you'd like to
department
say?
has keys.
How can I have a
They
key?
have keys. Not everybody is supposed to have keys.
That's wrong.
Paul has something he would like to
The
say.
fire department, they do have keys, I'm sure
That I know.
you're
but
aware
what-
of that.
But
yeah.
what if they're someplace else on a call?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
That, I mean,
There's only
it's
certain-
just a concern thing.
There's
that
only certain
bothers
people
me.
that have keys.
All I can think of is somebody locked in and can't get out, or
I think you should bring that up with the
Tony
commission,
wants to do her, I
the
told
Water
her
and
she
Sewer
could do
Commission,
her.
at one of their meetings.
I'm going to try to be there Thursday.
Lee?
Both electric department employees have keys. So we have, if we're in the general area, we can access in adequate also.
Okay. Shit, Tony?
Every one of the vehicles at the police department also has one of the fobs to get in there, should there be an emergency down there. I'm going to say 90% of the calls that the fire department goes on, the Ashland Police Department also goes.
Right.
So if say that the ambulance, the town ambulance is somewhere they can't respond and Plymouth is responding, the police department can respond to open that gate. But I'll just let you know that we go to probably 90% of the medical calls that the
Right.
fire department goes to. So, and there's one in every police vehicle.
Yeah.
Lee, is there one in your office, the utilities office?
I don't believe so. There's not one in the office, is there? No.
Okay.
Can probably put one in there.
Yeah.
Sherry?
Here.
Most of the time.
Sherry, I'm gonna ask Michael to draw a ticket for us.
Okay.
Michael, would you like to come up and draw a ticket for us to the office?
Alright. You don't have any family members or anything in here, right?
No, just their ticket.
You're related. Give Sherry a hard time.
Alright, read back. Let's see who it is.
Oh. Frank Stevens.
Oh, nice. All right.
Which I have no idea who it is.
He lives up on Levitt Hill, right?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Alright, so we'll have to contact Frank. You want the beautiful quilt. And I want to thank everyone for participating. I have not hit the businesses up. This was all the public and everything. If the businesses would like to participate, you can either send it to me at P.O. Box 713, Ashland, or drop it off the shop. I'll come get it. To date, we are $753.
Very, very good.
Sherry, I just want to thank you for all the work that you've done.
Thank
You did a good job.
Now, Mr. Heath brought me this one day. It's quite heavy.
Small for a coffin.
But the 7th grade built it. And the 7th grade would like to know if they could build a few more so we could put them on the bridge down in Lower Village. Now, I have talked to Kevin Coburn in Holderness because they have flower boxes there. We're playing phone tag. But we'd like to know if 7th grade can build like 3 more for us.
Now, are you going to set them on top of the bridge? Is that what you're
Yep,
talking about?
right on the top like Holderness has
And it's
theirs.
wide enough for them to be there?
They measured it, they made the plans, and they constructed them, and it's in their budget. It wouldn't cost anybody anything. And Mr. Heath came to me and asked if you'd like to do that also.
How many?
Might be a good idea to wire them.
What do you think? No, they're bolted in a way. Kevin and I have talked,
Okay.
but we're playing phone tag right now. They're actually bolted
Good.
there. I'm gonna go over, and I know Tim works with him, and so I'm sure we can. I'll work together.
Phil, did you have a question?
How many are you gonna make?
I think if we get 2 on each side or 3 on each side, it would be nice. So.
Brighten up the little village, I like it.
And I think if you drive down that way, if you look, you'll see it. So,
I think
but
it's
no,
a great
everybody
idea.
wants your approval before we go ahead and do this. I'm gonna start buying barrels, so.
It's fine with me. How's the rest of the board feel?
Good looking.
It'll dress up. as
Well,
a
the
drive
other
home.
thing was the seventh graders, with the seventh graders making and participating, possibly there wouldn't be the vandalism and we wouldn't have to electrocute them. So nobody would vandalize them. You know, the kids want to do it. The kids want to get involved, so.
Well, you have a consensus of the board, so you can go forward.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you to the
Thank
seventh
you
graders.
again.
Yeah, no, awesome job, seventh graders.
Thank you so much for your help.
Excellent.
Awesome, thank you. Am I all done? Is done here? And we'll call Frank. Oh,
Don't forget your bucket. Yeah, your blue bucket.
oh, my bucket.
Don't kick it.
Okay, are there any other comments or concerns, Lee?
You said you won't entertain anything from the past. Past is part of the present too. Thursday was a joint loss safety committee meeting. Our representative from the utilities had no idea what was going on. The explanation was that apparently I was working on my computer and accidentally deleted the name. Department head meetings, I don't get any information on anymore now. I will say, a lot of them I don't make, because there's only 2 of us, and if it's nice weather out, we're out working. I still don't get notification when those department head meetings are. The commissioners have not been involved anywhere along the line with telephones. We have an agreement of the boards. Same way with Primex. The commissioners were not involved in decisions to bring Primex on. They were notified of it, but they were not involved in the final decision. And the same thing goes when you drop school care. The agreement says the utility commissioners, both sets of boards, will be involved in all decisions involving non-union employees. And it's also affecting our budgets. A lot of these issues affect our budgets. I think we need to start working together before this ends up back in court again.
As far as the school care, they were at the school care meeting, Lee. As far as the joint loss meeting, I would have to check into that. I can't give you an answer
And
on
the
that
answer,
because I don't know.
The answer for that one was somehow his name got deleted. It's
Well,
been reinstated.
I can check on that for you.
But as far as the Primex goes, they were not included in the final decision, which according to the agreement.
The agreement says that you will participate.
I'm sorry?
The word in the agreement is that you will participate. The word is participate. It says the town will allow the electric commissioner and the water and sewer commission to participate in all decisions.
That's correct.
What does that mean?
In other words, they can give suggestions or they can be involved in it, which we did involve them in the school care and that. So, Paul, I couldn't quite hear you. What did you have to say?
When we touched on this with legal, the town attorney said if it was the intent of the electric commissioners and the water and sewer commissioners to more than participate but to vote, then they would have put the words vote in the settlement agreement.
But it says to participate in all decisions by the town that may affect or concern the non-unionized employees who work for the electric and the water sewer. But a lot of the decisions are being made by the Board of Selectmen also affect our budgets. We put together our budgets, we go before the budget committee, they determine whether to add, delete, etc. We need to know what's going on. When these decisions are made, in my estimation, and I believe in the estimation of both boards down there. They're a governing board, the same as you are. They should be meeting, the three boards should be meeting together when these decisions are made, so everybody's on board for what's happening. I'd also like to ask one other thing. I would like a copy of the final signed contract. Today's April 2nd. It kicked in yesterday. I want to make sure that I'm abiding by that union contract.
That union contract is in the town office.
Beg pardon?
That union contract is in the town office. It's in the file.
Can somebody make a copy and put in our box for us so I can get a copy and keep down there?
If you want to go to town office and pick it up.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns? There being no other questions or concerns, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:55 p.m. Is there a second?
Yes, there is indeed.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Motion carries.